Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to The Money Cure. I am your host, Sean Robert Grant. So happy to have you here with me today. Hope you guys have been well. Hope your finances are flowing with a vigor uncontrollably into your life and you're circulating them properly. And you're doing everything you need to do to live the life that you want, because ultimately that's what money comes down to. Money is the mind-getting power. The ability to live your life in the way you truly desire, to be, to do, and to have all that you desire. That's what money is about. That's what this show is about. So let's get right into it. Let the money flow to you. So I was meditating not too long ago, and I had reached a point where my heart was telling me, you know what? I know that there's more to this than what I'm allowing. I know that there's more to this than what I'm basically accepting from the universe. And what I mean by that is sometimes you can get so hard pressed as to how or what it should look like for money to come into your life that you squeeze the hell out of it. And you begin to put a chokehold on it that serves no good purpose whatsoever. And all of a sudden it stagnates the channels that are without a doubt completely wide open to you. And so when that happens, when that begins to happen, what often occurs is that you reach a point where you're financially stagnant. Okay, you reach a point where you're financially stagnant. So I was listening to Miles Monroe a few weeks ago, and he made this comment, and he made it so quick that if you weren't really paying attention, you wouldn't have been able to grasp what he was truly saying. But he said something along the lines of, you know what, money is supposed to come to you. And then I just did a podcast where I said, you're supposed to be rich. You're supposed to be wealthy. But he said, money is really supposed to come to you. If it's not coming to you in overflow, you're doing something wrong. And I began to think, okay, this is a great topic to share, because it's like, are you pressing the issue of needing more money? You see, because the greatest paradox in life is when you don't need something, you begin to attract so much of it, right? I'll say that again. Write it down if you got a notepad. When you don't need something, you begin to attract all of it, everything of it, you know? And that goes with money. Like, so when we stop, I guess the word is to get attached to it. When we stop getting so attached to it and wanting it to come in so badly, you know what happens when you decide that you just want to have something so bad and you get so attached to it and you can't think about anything else. Once again, you stagnate the flow of it. It can't flow as properly. It's like being in a relationship and having tabs on your spouse or your partner and being so overbearing that all of a sudden you no longer become attractive. Right? So if you don't become attractive, what's going to happen? You're going to repel that person. And we talked about money being a psychic entity. The exact same thing will happen to you if you begin to treat money as, if you begin to be so overbearing on it and like controlling and you know, all these things that just basically hover and suffocate it. You're going to repel everything that wants to come to you. So here's my solution. Here's my solution to that. Because I feel like, especially when we're in a place where we have issues with it, where we want more of it, we tend to either go one or two ways. We become indifferent and we ignore the hell out of it, which is, you get the same result. Or we become so obsessed and so just, oh, I need it, I got to do everything for it, that we become absolutely eccentric. And then it just stops the flow. So here's what I'm going to tell you. right now to solve this once and for all for the rest of your life, to allow every bit of money flow that is supposed to come to you. And as you're right, as a divine being, you're supposed to be abundant in every aspect, not just money, but in every aspect. So here's what we're going to do. First thing we're going to just let go, right? We're going to let go. Just take a moment, take a few deep breaths, and just let go and say, you know what? My objective is to be in the flow of everything. My objective is to be in the flow of everything. Once I'm in the flow, great things can happen. Once I'm in the flow, great things can happen. Once I'm in the flow, great things can happen. I say that because I want you to realize that being in the flow is basically just being in joy, right? So I look at my life. When I was struggling, the one objective that I saw that didn't really add up to me being in the flow was I wasn't doing things that made me completely happy and joyful. I just wasn't doing them. And then I was expecting, well, why am I feeling this way? And why am I not making any money? Why is this way? And all of a sudden I said, you know what? I've got to bring as much divine joy into my life, as much happiness as I possibly can, because the moment that I'm joyful, the moment that I'm happy, the moment that I am sharing my gifts with the world is when my entire being comes alive. And you probably guessed it. My entire being came alive. Money began to flow from every single direction possible, which is infinite channels as it comes to the universe. And it became this thing, okay, at first I couldn't figure it out consciously what was happening, but then I ran into the same issues again, and then I switched it up again. I realized, okay, this is what I have to do. I have to be in a place where I am seeking my joy. You have to seek your own joy first and foremost, every moment of the day possible, even when you're working at a job that you dislike, or even when you have to give away time to do other stuff. Find your joy, find it, hold on to it, like express it, exude it, discover other things that bring you joy, and just completely let loose with it. Okay? Because if you can do that, financial flow will be the least of your worries. Actually, it won't even be a worry at all. It doesn't even become a worry at that point because your focus on giving of yourself, which by universal law, you're going to get back what you're giving in return, if not multiplied, and you're taking the time to basically just express the God in you. And the God in you is your gifts in action. That's all that is. So if you find that you're stuck, you find that things aren't flowing, just begin to give of yourself. Just begin to give of what you're good at. But more importantly, begin to follow the joy in those things, to follow the things that light you up. I love that term, light you up. It's like you all of a sudden get a charge, and you're just ready, you're willing, you're able to do stuff. I can remember I was acting and I wasn't booking anything. But I had so much creativity to share. And so I pulled out my camera. I bought a camera in China like a month before. I pulled out my camera. I set it on the tripod. I got out these lights. And I started shooting these segments where I was playing these different characters. And it just lit me up. It lit me up. It brought me so much joy. And in that joy, not only came more income, but came opportunities to create more income because I was following my bliss. And at the end of the day, that's all you have to do. That's all you have to do is follow your joy. Follow what lights you up. And the money will flow to you in an easeful capacity. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Greatly appreciate it. We'll talk soon. Take care. Get that money flowing.